Hello, I'm back with another weekly update on our Western series Contention. Now, this is going to be a little different than my past updates. I want to discuss an important matter that's come up recently. At least it's important to me. So, it has to do with where we're going to be filming Contention, or more importantly, where we're not going to be filming Contention. Now, some of you are probably familiar with the Mescal movie set. Maybe some of you aren't, but it's a movie set, Western town, where Tombstone and Quick and the Dead were filmed, among many other great movies. It's located near Tucson and Benson, near Gammons Gulch, where we filmed many of the 12 Westerns. Now, I didn't get to make any of the 12 at Mescal, and that's not because I didn't try or didn't want to. You see, at that time, Mescal was owned by Old Tucson Studios, probably the most famous Western movie set in Arizona. And I tried to work with them. Old Tucson itself was way too expensive for us to afford on our moderate budgets for the 12 Westerns. But I was hoping that we might be able to do something at Mescal. Unfortunately, they were not flexible and didn't really want to negotiate with me at all. And on top of that, Old Tucson had really let Mescal fall apart over the years, which is a shame. I mean, a lot of the buildings were in really bad shape. And I'd argue that if they had worked with filmmakers like myself more over the years, that the place would probably have stayed in better shape. Because a lot of people like myself and people I work with would have worked on the buildings and even, rebuilt them just for the opportunity to shoot there. And I promise you, this is going to relate to Contention. I'm getting there. So, flash forward. The pandemic hits, and Old Tucson goes out of business. Mescal gets sold off to a new owner. Now, this looked like an incredible opportunity. John will tell you, my buddy John Mars, who works with me, that I was really excited about the possibility that two things would happen. That Mescal would be rebuilt, revived, and that they might be finally more open to working with independent filmmakers such as myself. And around that same time, we were starting to come up with the idea for our Western series. So I went there the other day because we were going to scout locations for the hotel. We were going to look at their hotel to potentially film some scenes for my remake of John Wayne's Blue Steel. And I was super impressed with some of the renovations they've done. I mean, they've definitely fixed up the hotel, the saloon, some of the buildings, but it still has a long way to go. Unfortunately, it looks like they've adopted the philosophy of the previous owners when it comes to working with independent filmmakers. Now, I don't want to get into the exact numbers, but Mescal wants to charge me twice, more than twice actually, what it costs to shoot at Gammons Gulch for one day. And that's even if I'm only filming at a building or two. Now, this is important. Gammons Gulch, when you shoot there, you can shoot in almost every building. They're all safe, and not only are they safe, well built, but they're immaculately designed, filled with period props and set design. I mean, literally, it's a filmmaker's daydream. You just walk in, and you pretty much just set up the camera. You can't say the same thing about Mescal. Like I said, they've done good with a couple of spots, but you can't film in the whole town. And it cost more than twice as much to film at one or two buildings. That just doesn't make sense. Now, I tried to talk to the guy that runs things. I explained we're not working with much, we'll only shoot there with a small crew, limited time, all of that stuff. No flexibility, no give, which is a shame. So, how does this relate to Contention? Well, I was hoping to film for several weeks at Mescal for Contention, not just a few days. In fact, I wanted to film at Mescal longer than Gammons. I wanted it to be the primary location of our Western series. But given that they don't show a whole lot of fairness and flexibility with lower budget projects, I honestly don't see what the point is in even trying to negotiate with them anymore. Considering the circumstances, it's not even worth thinking about. So as I told John, I think that I'm going to make Gammons Gulch the priority and the primary location for contention. And every single dollar that I would have spent at Mescal is going to go into making Gammons Gulch an even better movie set. We may even add extra buildings and expand upon the ones that are there. But all of that money that I would have spent at Mescal is going to go to Gammons. And hey, if Gammons became inflexible too, then I would just shoot somewhere else. I'll shoot in New Mexico or Texas. Because filmmakers like myself are going to go to the places where people are helpful, supportive, and flexible. That's how we got the 12 Westerns made. That's how I'm going to get Blue Steel made. And that's definitely how I'm going to get Contention made. So, it's a shame. But oh well, what are you going to do? And on a final note, while I was there at Mescal, we went inside their gift shop, and I noticed that they had these hoodies and shirts that said, "Make Westerns Great Again." I wonder where they took that idea from. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be back next Sunday with another update on our Western series, Contention.